first thing I want to say is that Google is doing their best to try to stay relevant within this market. They went up 7% this year in 2025, which is crazy good for them. You know, they're not up there with, you know, the Samsung and, you know, Apple and everybody else, but this is a up and up for them. So far, their sales has been increasing and more people got Pixels in their hands. A lot of you right now that's watching this video probably look around and see that there's actually more Pixels out here in the world. And some of you still see them very rare or even not at all. But here in the United States, it's very surprising when I see somebody with a Pixel, because the only two choices that most people, you know, walk around with that I see all the time is either a Samsung phone or an iPhone. There's no in between. But now I'm starting to see a lot more Pixel users. And I mean, I see them with older Pixels on top of that, and I just be shocked, you know, and I be seeing them with the watch as well. And I'm just like, whoa, they got the watch, they got the phone, they probably got the buds, you know, because they're going to sell the whole package to the people and stuff like that. So I just want to say that I think that what Google is doing with the Pixels is really great. I'm glad that they are staying with the Pixels, the software, the hardware, everything is just phenomenal. And every year, to me, the Pixel phones are the only phone that really, the upgrades are more relevant than others, right? You know, Samsung can update their phone, is like, and then Apple's, But when it comes to the Pixels, every update seems a little bit more significant than the last update, because they're the only ones that's kind of like behind on a lot, right? They're behind on hardware and they're ahead on software. That's about where they at. So they're ahead on software to me, but they're behind on the hardware. So every time we get these dramatic hardware changes, I always be like, why didn't we get this in the Pixel 7? Why didn't we get this in the Pixel 8 or the 9? And now we're in the 10 now, and then 11 is going to get some changes. And I'm going to say, why we didn't get these in the other ones? You know, it's just one of those things where they're taking their time upgrading different hardware slowly while everyone is already there, which just kills me. It kind of reminds me of like the Apple move, how they just give you just about that much just to sell the next iPhone to you. So I think Google's like right on that track, and I don't like. But anyways, with that being said, I think the future of Pixels are going to be, it's going to be a future for them. I mean, for a long time, you know, well, we're like from 6 to 10 now, and most people kept saying like, well, even before that, most people was like, Pixels ain't gonna last long, Google's gonna drop it, Google's gonna drop it. Bro, look where we are now. Google, I don't think they're dropping the Pixel line anytime soon. It looks like they're doubling down on the marketing. It looks like they're trying to get they've got them on carriers, trying to push them out more. You got different variations of it. You got the, you know, expensive tier that, you know, what we talk about. Of course, we talk about, you know, how expensive it is and for what you don't get because of a chip. And then you got your, you know, your mid-tier ones, and then you got your cheap ones for, you know, anybody who want to get into an A series or get into a Pixel. Because to be honest with you, if you really think about it, Pixels are mainly about the software 99% of the time. So I don't think like the chip and everything else matters too much, because it's about the experience that you get with the software. So having a A8 or 9A or 10A and a Pro XL really not a big, huge difference when it comes to the software experience. But of course, they're going to do some cutbacks in some of the hardware to give you a reason and incentive to purchase the next one, like better cameras over here if you like taking a lot of pictures, but still good cameras over here, but just better over here, and, you know, bigger battery and everything else. But it's just one of those trade-offs that they do just to cut prices and stuff. But for the most part, I think that Pixel's got a really bright future here. I'm excited to see what Google comes up with each generation. Obviously, I'm always excited about upgrading, even though, you know, after a while, the upgrades just doesn't feel that great anymore now. Even from me coming from my 9 Pro XL to my 10 Pro XL, I even made a video about it in my full review talking about like it's really the same phone. It's starting to get there. But I am happy I made the purchase going to the 10 Pro XL over the 9 Pro XL. I would always keep choosing the 10 Pro XL over the 9 Pro because it does have those hardware changes that I really wanted that should have been in the phone a long time ago. Remember I said that earlier in the video, you know, they make these small changes that just make you want to buy up. Kind of one of those things. You can fact check me if you want. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just telling you what I see from Google in it. It's just really simple. But between T-Mobile and Verizon, there was a 7% jump on Pixels as far as what their sales are. And that speaks a lot, because that means people are walking into carriers and they're walking out with Pixels instead of an iPhone or a Samsung phone or even OnePlus. That, well, if OnePlus are in carriers, I don't even think they're pulled from the carriers. But so Google's only competition really is Samsung and Apple. And you have to like try to steal customers away from them. So I don't know what it is that they're going to have to do. It ain't going to be the chips. So I can tell you guys now, because some of you are probably saying that crap. No, that's for us tech people. Average people who go to carriers financing phones and stuff like that, is about the price. And if Google got a better price than both of them for a phone, then that's what they're going to roll with 99% of the time. I mean, my stepfather all the time you know, goes out here and buy a phone, and I be trying to push him to a, you know, semi-flagship phone. But I mean, he'd be like, hey man, such and such on this phone for $100. I'm like, all right, man. So then when I gotta troubleshoot his phone and I'm pressing a button on it and I gotta wait 5 seconds for something to pop up, it's so irritating. So I just be wanting to get him on the flagship. So if I gotta troubleshoot, because I am the guy in the family that troubleshoot, I wanna deal with something a little bit more faster. And he buys the cheapest phones, all because of the price. He walks in a carrier, he see a cheap phone, that's what he gets. He would never want to finance a phone that costs a lot more money. When you, some people just, when you hear finance, they don't want to add on to their bill. So they just buy outright whatever cheap phones they have. So if there's a phone on the shelf for $149, they normally buy that, walk out the store and be happy with it. And with AT&T here in the United States, they had like a 2.3 increase in sales. And that's about it. A little bit slower with AT&T, but Verizon and T-Mobile is really kicking butt. But then again, here where I live at in the United States, really T-Mobile and Verizon is pretty much the biggest two out here. So I think a lot of people are either on those two carriers. AT&T is kind of like a dying carrier. Don't quote me on that, but just, I don't know, nobody on AT&T. Sorry to interrupt this video, but just in case you didn't know, Delvon Digital makes his own custom wallpapers. All my wallpapers will be shown in my videos that you've been watching on this channel. So if you really want to support me, go ahead and hit that link down in the description below and go grab you some nice wallpapers. I mean, these things are dope. I do give all my supporters the Delvon Digital exclusive color, and in my custom wallpaper packs, there are 15 more colors just for you. So what you waiting for? Go ahead and pause this video, hit that link, and go get you some wallpapers and come on right back and finish this up. But anyways, let's get back to the video. And the next thing I want to say is that Pixels is really growing year over year, sales up to 100%, which is crazy. That means like globally, they're actually selling a lot more Pixels. I do think that they need to open up in more countries. I don't know what's the, you know, why not? Maybe it's regulations with the, you know, the countries or whatever like that. Cause you know, Google has a lot of AI stuff built into it. So, you know, you gotta go by the rules of whatever's in that country and how they do things and stuff like that. That's why I believe like states like, I mean, countries like the United States, they just don't care too much. So we pretty much got all the Pixel features that you can possibly get that Google, you know, want to put in their phone, while other countries are like, we can't do this because maybe your country legislation or so whatever it is holding it back from receiving that type of AI type stuff or that type of feature for whatever privacy concerns that your country may have. So, you know, for a lot of people, you're going to be missing a lot of features, but it's probably why they haven't really opened up globally to everywhere or something like that. Or maybe they just slowly being smart and just putting it out there slowly, because, you know, you don't want to just throw everything out there and make all these units and then you got all this extra phones just sitting around and stuff like that. So maybe the rollout is the smarter thing, and maybe they do have a plan to hit all the markets eventually, kind of like Samsung and Apple worldwide pretty much, you know. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say today. I just want to say that, you know, Pixels and the future of them is looking really good. Again, you can fact check me with all this information, whatever like that. Just Google it or find it wherever you get your facts from and stuff like that. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next video. Delvon Digital, out.